Hello guys, this is Tovar with the Red Path Performance Group for another honest review, and I apologize that it's not a very not that I produce a lot of my videos, but that is a very simple occasion, but I just need to do these so I can finally get rid of these boots. So today in an honest review, graphic comes in and out, Rothco jungle boots. So in the never ending search for the perfect jungle boot, which if you go on my channel, you see a couple of options. I think so far my favorite ones have been the Salomon Ultra Jungle. I think they're solid boots. Check that video out. But anyway, I had to go back to the origins, right? So the original jungle boot, or what we think about jungle boot today, comes from the Vietnam era boots. The boots that were issued from Vietnam, they have the distinct canvas and leather mix. They also have draining holes. They also have very aggressive rubber soles, which is called, that pattern is called the Panama sole. And this is the basics, right? I mean, this is the basic stuff. Every single jungle boot that you see today, it's just an iteration of that. It has draining holes, it has leather, it has canvas, some different materials, some, of course, you know, nicer or more modern features, but it's pretty much the same thing. So I went and tried to find the closest one I could to those jungle boots, and those are the Rothco jungle boots. These guys. Now, oh my god, I can still smell the rubber, and I've worn them forever. So these guys are your typical jungle boot, right? They're made by Rothco. Rothco is a large manufacturer of military stuff. They have pouches, they have belts, they have uniforms. They're very, very cheap in terms of their price. And there are other brands that make a very similar, you know, basic jungle boot, like Altama. Those ones retail for, I think, over $100. I think it's 130. So I just wanted to try what this feels like, and I got these ones. These are $35 in any army surplus store, or you can get them on Amazon. And I just need to tell you guys about this. So first of all, like I said, classic Panama sole, right? Very thick rubber, very durable, but that also means that they're very heavy. Now, I've really tried these guys. Like, I had an endurance event that I was assisting with. I wore them straight for 24 hours. I went out in the rain. I went out in the mud. It's starting to get chilly in New England. This is October. I wore them for my morning rocks, and they're okay. Now, here's what I think. I mean, and this is maybe just the difference between, you know, $37 or $35 to 100 and change, is that they're just so uncomfortable after you break them in. After you break them in, that's the tricky part, right? When you first wear them, they are very stiff because this leather, it's very durable, but it's also very, very thick, right? I mean, I think you can see how really there's not a lot of bend to it, right? And I've worn them for I don't know how many miles up to date. So put them on. They're very oversized because they're they're made for the military standard that has to have double sock, woolen socks, stuff like that. So I actually usually wear a 9.5, and these ones are the size 8, and I still have room. Actually, I even had to put a sneaker insole in there just to kind of get rid of some of the space. So they're very big, right? And like I said, you put them on and your foot is just swimming in this leather box. It doesn't even feel like it hugs your foot that much. But they're okay. I was very surprised. For a moment there, I was like, okay, yeah, well, why am I spending, you know, hundreds of dollars? They're just worth 35 and they're quite good. Now the problem comes when you actually break them in. As you can see from both boots, there is a very, very obvious line where my foot is bending, you see? Also in this one. Whereas other boots, right, they tend to create more than one crease, right? They tend to create several lines of folding because it, the front tends to start molding to your foot. So obviously you don't, you don't flex your toe, your big toe in the same place that you flex your little toe, right? It should be kind of like a descending line if we're talking about my right foot, for example. Whereas in these ones, it just goes to the once you start to see a wrinkle there, a crease, that's where everything is going to go. So what happens is that this creates this it's a very thick leather. So underneath, right, it's like this solid line of leather folded, digging into your foot every single step. So when you're wearing thick socks, which is, I guess, the military standard, shame on me, I guess, that's cool. But if I just want to wear them, with a smaller sock because I know I'm going to get wet, then I start to get, in the knuckles of my toes, I get these scrapes, and they're so uncomfortable. Every step that you take is like that leather is digging into where your toes begins and your toes meet your foot. It's digging, and it just keeps digging, and it's so uncomfortable. So they're very durable. They clean out well. You'd be surprised what I put them through. I just use some saddle soap, and look, they look pretty good. They look almost like I have not used them, and I've put them through hell. So they're very durable for sure. But I guess my point is, like, unless you're planning to always wear super thick socks and double up your socks military standard, this is a no-go because they're gonna dig into your feet really bad. I'm telling you, this on the inside sucks because also it has a little bit of a liner, which is also not the greatest quality. It's quite coarse. I tried singing them in water for a little bit. I tried also to see if I could soften some of this with leather conditioner. It's the same because that is always there. Always there. There's no other point of flexion in the front at all, like you would see with other boots. So, God, really, really bad. Now, the good learning experience though is that because this is leather, I can tell you that when I first started wearing them, my shoelaces were definitely a little bit more separated, were like this, and I start to break them in, they start to give in, and right now I tie them almost like this, all the way close together, right? So that is kind of cool learning experience because now I know, when I buy another pair of more quality leather top boots, like high top boots, probably make sure that I'm definitely being very true to size because once leather gives in, it's going to be, a little bit closer together when you tie them. And if you run out of slack, then you won't have the correct fit. So if you're buying leather boots, make sure that, fight that instinct of having extra room and make sure that you are true to size. Just have some room to wiggle your toes. Make sure that, you're not touching the tip of it. And that's it. So Rothco jungle boots, not great, but good learning experience. Leave your comments again. I'm gonna leave a link to our Red Path Performance group so you can check out what we're doing. Like I said, this one's in Amazon. If you plan on wearing super thick socks and maybe you're on a budget, just know that you're gonna need support with your socks in order to make these ones work. Socks are still less expensive than boots, so up to you. So this was an honest review. Leave comments, share, whatever. Talk to you soon.